Sexplosion is on every Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. and Fridays from 9 p.m. to midnight with Dr. Raj, the guru of sex in the Caribbean.
A lot of times we think that sex is totally below the waist. It is not below the waist. It starts in the brain. The largest sex organ that you possess is your brain.
Tune in for discussion on all sexual matters. Sexplosion on Power 102. Empowering you.
Give me one up, right?
Well, I can definitely tell you this is what it's all about when it comes to sex education. Sexplosion on Power 102.1 FM with your host, Dr. Raj and our Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center out at St. Augustine. And for those of you who would love to interact with him live in studio, 222-8255, also at 612-8255. May I remind you that this program may contain material that is not suitable for children. Parental guidance therefore advised. Yeah.
Yes, a pleasant good evening to Yashwanti, Sayan, Rishma, and my beautiful cousin over in Canada. Who else? Janelle and Rosanna. I must apologize for our break-in transmission a while ago. What happened is that we lost the internet.
We lost it, yeah. But we're back on track.
Yes, so it's a good thing. Very good thing. So I have to say, Asha, thank you very much for sending me those lovely pictures. And I like that about my audience, you know. They know what I like and they send it to me. Lovely, lovely, lovely. But she know I'm not a breast man, so she showed me what I like.
Okay.
You want to see? Yes. I know you can't remember Asha.
Oh yeah.
Like you recognize her from that?
No, Asha improved plenty.
You recognize her from that? So wait a minute, I have to watch you know. Somebody asked me to say hello to someone in Halliburton. Let's see. Raj, big up Florence from Halliburton. Working nights and can't miss your program. Thank you very much. I appreciate that very much. Pleasant good evening to Petra. Asha has joined us there. This was from Nairun Maharaj. So, we were talking about the mind. When the mind comes in, it interferes with the five senses. Now, the act of making love has to do with feelings. Internal feelings and external feelings. Feeling that comes from the appendage and feeling that comes from inside. You like somebody, you see them, you fall in love with them, or you like something about them, you have a craving to be inside them, or to be on them, or to kiss them. There's a feeling for sex. There's no two ways about that. What do you do after that? That the one sense that you're definitely going to engage is that sense of touch. That sense of touch is there. But after that you engage that sense of touch, well, of course, it comes from the sense of seeing. You're not hearing the person yet, but you're seeing. So you want to touch, you want to feel, you want to taste. Part of tasting is smelling, because that goes with tasting, how the person smells, the pheromones from the individual. The pheromone from the individual also is something you could be attracted to before you even touch the person. Because the pheromones, all animals secrete pheromones. And on that topic, I want to warn the ladies out there, when you overuse perfume and deodorants and antiperspirant, you are blocking your pheromones. That is one of, I have not done a survey or a study on it, and I'm sure that there are studies that are being done on the effects of women using excessive amount of perfume, deodorant, and antiperspirant. What effect that has on them with their spouse, their boyfriend, their girlfriend. What are the signals you're sending out? Or are you blocking your signals that you're supposed to be sending out to your loved one? And is that contributing to the problems we have in society, where husbands are no longer loving wives and wives are no longer loving husbands? And that's a serious topic, you know. A very serious topic, and I'll tell you why. You are attracted to something from someone when you see them. Now you see them, there's a physical attraction. The physical attraction is based on what you like, what you see. If a guy likes a woman that is 180 pounds and curvaceous, that's what he likes. That is what he will be attracted to. The woman secretes pheromones because she wants to draw in the person that she is attracted to also. The secretion of pheromones is not something you sniff and, oh yeah, smelling pheromones here. Oh yeah, it doesn't work like that. Pheromones are picked up by our senses in our body. That is what happens. It has a smell, but it is not a smell identifiable. It is something we pick up on. That's why we say the chemistry between you and a person. That chemistry causes you to like the person more. Have you ever met someone, strike up a conversation, go near them, and all of a sudden you like them more than when you first see them?
Oh, yeah.
Well, right. That is pheromones at work. And some women, the perfume that they use interact with their pheromones and enhances the pheromones. Some of them. Some women you could tell when they're on a period. Have you ever picked up on that? You stand next to a woman and you could tell she's on her period. No, pay attention and you'll realize that you could do it.
But what are some of the signs?
First of all, there's a scent. There's a change in pheromones. No, not a bad scent. Don't twist up your mouth. When people say scent, the first thing that they think about is something bad. It is not. The scent, that's why it is important when you use the word the scent of a woman, for she not to feel the stink of a woman. It's not the stink, it's the scent of a woman, the scent of a man.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But for the time we hear the word scent, we twist our face like she just did.
You think it's something nasty.
Because you think it's nasty, you think that it is something funky, but it's not. It is not. And if a woman is on her period, many times I've been next to women, or women come to my office, and I know immediately if they're on a period or not. You can tell. The same way you can tell if a guy is smoking cigarette. If a guy is smoking cigarette and he walks into an enclosed environment, where an air-conditioned environment, you can tell immediately. So how come you could tell with cigarette, which is nicotine, and you can't tell with other things? Obviously you could tell. But you don't really sit down there and say, okay, she on her period. No, it doesn't happen that way. You will get that sense, that chemistry, that feeling, that scent, and now suddenly now if you know how to equate it, you'll say, well, wait a minute, I got a scent before with Sharon and she was on her period. Again, the scent now with this lady, I feel she's on her period. Now in my case, I could ask without it being offensive, because it's part of my job. You go and ask a woman you're on a period.
But the ordinary person can't.
You can't do that.
No, you can't.
But you will realize as time goes by, if you start paying attention to that scent that you pick up on, you will realize for yourself that whenever somebody's on their period, you will be picking it up. And then you will be able to identify that scent with period.
Is it a fresh...
No, it's not. You see, again, for example, you say scent, look at you. You're going down the wrong road. It is not that. It is a scent. It's difficult to describe a scent. Okay, could you describe to me the scent of your perfume? Your cologne that you wear?
No, but some people could, eh?
Could you describe to me, I'm not asking you about some person. I am asking Junior Saldana, can you identify the scent of the cologne that you use? Can you describe it?
No, you can't describe
You can't. So why do you go to buy perfume? Why it is they will tell you, well, this does smell like a bucket of rose. Buy it. And they just spray it on something and give it a smell.
Yeah, sample.
Well, right. Nobody could describe a scent. You could describe it broad term and saying it's smelling bad or it's smelling good. But I just a broad term brush over it. But the scent that you pick is the same thing with pheromones. You don't pick up a, oh, jasmine. It's not that. Ladies of the night, it is not that. If you're passing by somebody, long ago you used to get this plenty, lady of the night plant.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have it anymore.
No, that kind of outdated.
Only one of my neighbors have that inside by me.
Yeah?
Yeah. When you pass by his home, you get that nice scent no matter what time. Oh, lovely. That's why people plant scented flowers around their home, so it will smell nice and whatnot. It waves through the breeze, so you smell it. But you cannot describe it. The difficulty is you telling somebody. Now, if you have smelled or you know the odor of ladies of the night plant, you don't have to tell somebody what that smells like. But if you have never smelled it, how are you describing that to somebody? You can't. They must actually smell it. So it's the same thing with a woman when she is when she's letting out her pheromones. And a man when he's letting out her pheromones. It is not a sweaty smell, you know. That sweaty smell that you get is bacteria being exposed to the air that creates a smell. That is what that is. It is not the scent of pheromones. Now in some animal, the musk that they let out, which is the pheromones that they let out, is very strong. That's very, very strong. So you could pick it up for miles. A man could smell it. Other animals are meant to pick up on it. The scent of a woman The pheromones of a woman, the pheromones of a man is something that we secrete all the time. We secrete that, so it's there to be picked up. How do you pick it up? What picks it up? That's why there are perfume now, like Lure, L-U-R-E.
Yeah.
There are Lure for men and Lure for women. There are pheromones, perfume out there. Perfume that are infused with human pheromones, male and female. But these are lab-created pheromones. It is not natural pheromones, because it's difficult to trap natural pheromones. If you don't smell it, how could you trap it? So all it is. So the perfume for men that is infused with aphrodisiac or that pheromone to attract the female, it's a lab created, it's like amino acid.
Okay.
You have lab created amino acid and natural amino acid, naturally forming amino acid. It's the very same thing with the scent. So you pick it up and you are attracted to the person further, because first of all, you see the person, you like her. Okay, good. Go and talk to her. You pick up on the pheromones and there's more attraction. And she picks up on your pheromone because there's and all of a sudden there's a chemistry between you and the person. The chemistry is heightened, not by you meeting all the time, you know. The chemistry is now heightened by the other senses, the things you say. That's why people talk on the phone. That's why people text. Because texting is also saying things, because you are verbalizing what the person telling you. You're not hearing their voice.
No, but you could, yeah.
But you are verbalizing whatever they're saying to you. So that is also considered to be part of, the texting is part of communication. It's part of talking to the person. The challenges here is the things that I am telling you, is it going to make you elevated when it comes to me, or is it going to bring you down, meaning you pushing me aside? What are we doing? How well are we using our words? What are we using our words to do? What are we doing to attract that person? To keep that person in the conversation, or keep that person sexually attracted to you? Because as it boils down, it's sex. Because sex is the conduit to the relationship. It is what is needed to keep the relationship going. Now, of course, there are individuals who have been through relationship, spend years in a relationship, and there's no sex. And it's not boring. But that's what they decide to do, and they have suppressed their sexual anxiety and sexual feelings and whatnot. But they choose to do that.
Yeah,
it's a matter of choice.
Like
As human beings, we are capable of doing that also. That's why when somebody asks about long distance relationship, can I be in Trinidad and be in love with somebody in Russia? And would it work? Yes, it could work. But how strong are the individuals involved in that to make it work? What commitment are they going to give to one another to make that work? Commitment, strength, integrity, personal integrity, honesty, the things that you do. Trust. And you have to work on that. So yes, it could work. Human beings are capable of anything once we put our minds to it. The same way I could see a person now and fall in love with them immediately, the same way you could see somebody and dislike them immediately. And we understand why. But remember, for those who believe this, you come into this life with past experiences. Not everyone believes that, but I'm talking to those who believe it. The past experiences your soul has impact upon the human form. So whenever you come into contact with something and you realize that this thing that you have come into contact with gives you a certain amount of pleasure or a certain amount of feeling, and you rock back and you think afterwards and say, well, like I did that before. You know what they call deja vu? It is not deja vu, you know, mister. It is you have actually experienced that. It may not be in this human form. It may have been in another form.
Like in some cases, some places you may pass and you tell yourself, especially when you're traveling to the countryside, you pass a certain place and you say to yourself, like I know this place, like I've been here before.
But it's the exact same thing. Now, you may be in a long-term relationship with someone and you have never had that experience. This is your boyfriend for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. You've never had that experience. And suddenly you decide to go and do a thing with somebody and you're having sex with them, and all of a sudden they do something or say something within the realm of the sexual encounter, and you're like, wow, well, I can do this before, but I can't remember doing this. And you're wondering what happened here. But you have to understand that you are a product of past experiences. And those past experiences are not only of this life. And that is for those who believe. It has nothing to do with this life and choosing a different path and say you're born again. It has nothing to do with that. No, that is nothing. Absolutely not that, Susan. This is being in this life, carrying this soul, this vessel that we have, carrying that soul, and that soul have had that experience. Because the soul never dies. The soul carry over experiences. So here you are with your partner. Here you are with this person, and you're doing things, and it is out of the ordinary, and it's extraordinary to you, and it is wonderful. It is bringing out a part of you that you never knew existed. When that happens, now it's up to you as an individual to manage it and to make sure you stoke that fire to last a lifetime. Because this is part of your true nature that you're not aware of. Many of us have a true nature we're not even aware of, and we reach our grave, you know, because we have never had the experience of exploiting it. Okay, for example, a man might be a good carpenter. Okay? When he was younger, he was doing woodwork in school. He used to make nice bird cage and all kind of thing. But his father wanted him to be a lawyer. So forget woodwork. Be a lawyer. But in his heart, no matter what he's doing, you always think, boy, you know, I used to like to build things. I used to like to, you know, build things. I was explaining this to someone on my recent trip. I was flying to LA, but the Trinidad leg of it, Trinidad to Miami leg. And I met this guy, he was sitting next to me. He's going back to his country. He has 41,000 acres of plant to plant up. So he lives in Trinidad, like 6 months of the year, and he goes back and he does that. Well, hopefully he's listening tonight. And suddenly I'm telling him, I say, I like to plant plants. I like to plant flower plants and watch them grow. First of all, germinate and grow and, you know, blossom. I like that. I say, but that is in me from my grandparents on both sides. My Aja used to plant cocoa, coffee, and citrus and mangoes on his estate. My Nana used to plant cane, edos, rice, anything, okra, peppers, sweet potato. He used to plant that. So planting is in my blood. But I did not grow up to be a farmer. I'm not knocking farmers. To me, like Gandhi said, the life of a farmer is worth more than 50 doctors.
Without them,
and I seriously believe that. So, but I never took that part. So this man who was good at woodwork suddenly becomes a lawyer and he forget woodworking. But he has never taken the part of woodworking to know his true potential. So he never experienced his true potential. Maybe later on he'll start, because you see it in movies. A guy might be a successful lawyer or a doctor or whatever, and he has a little woodworking shop and he's making all these fancy things and whatnot. And when person sees it, it's like, you just make that? Yes. They never believe he'll do that, because that is his true potential. He's helping people here, curing people there, but his true potential is building boats. I remember seeing a movie with Harrison Ford where he used to build boats. So those are the things that you could do and realize your full potential. And those are physical things. What about the sexual things? Because we are sexual by nature. Anybody who denies that or anybody who say otherwise, they really don't understand sex. We are sexual beings. We came here through sex. Sex is our most pleasurable thing. And we reproduce ourselves through sex. So we are sexual beings. So if you are a sexual being, and there are different aspects of sex that you could tap into, that will bring out your true potential, should you not do it?
Well, of course you should.
But why don't we do it? Why don't we do it? One, because we are controlled by society. Two, the law of the land. Every country has a different law. The law, yes, the law. The law controls what you do because, of course, if you get a willing partner, the things that would be illegal outside of your bedroom suddenly becomes legal in your bedroom.
Yeah.
For example, bestiality. Or bestiality. What is bestiality? Right? That is illegal. But in the comfort of your bedroom, it's not. You are doing, like I was telling the same gentleman, I say in Florida, it's illegal to give a blowjob. Nobody, yeah, that's illegal. But nobody's going to go and take off that law from the statute because everybody blowing.
Oh yeah, I mean, so much balloon you see all over the place. Anyway, folks, taking our time, it's now 9 minutes before 10 o'clock. You are on the inside of Sexplosion on Power 2.1 FM with your host, Dr. Raj Ramnanan of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center that's in Augustine. And for those of you who would love to interact with him via the telephone, feel free. 210-28255, also at 612-8255. For those of you who would love to send him a WhatsApp or a text message, you can also do that on his private mobile 740-1961. You're listening to a program that's informative, educational, and of course entertaining exclusively on Power 2.1 FM. Yep.
A good lawyer out there who understands archaic laws could call now and call out a slew of laws that we break every day when we make love. Because it was never changed.
Okay, what we are going to do is go to the lines. Hello and welcome to Sexplosion. Good evening.
Good night.
Hi, good evening.
Raj.
Good evening.
Raj and Angel and Ruben.
Ruben is not here, Junior is here.
Enjoying your program, man.
Ruben is not here, Junior is here.
Yeah, sorry about that, Junior. So how are you doing?
I'm alright.
Well, I doing well, you know. I doing very good. I want to come there sometime next week, man.
Alright, don't come in the station, you know.
Huh?
Don't come to the radio station, you know, because the radio station is in Port of Spain.
Of course not.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
Yeah. No. I called what date was to find out the address now.
Okay, but do you have anything to ask about the program? Because I want you calling and talk about coming to see me. I'll contribute to the program.
No. The program what you're speaking about here tonight, the program there
Yeah?
is very, very intellectual. It's very, very interesting and knowing what human being is. Okay?
Yes, thank you.
Well, I can tell
And
you.
one of the things that keeps, sorry about that, one of the things that prevents us from our true potential is because we are hypocrites by nature.
Okay, I think we have someone on the line. Hi, hello, and welcome to Sexplosion. Good evening. Okay, left us.
Yeah. The hypocrisy of being a human being is condemning the things that we want to do, you know. Many at times we condemn the very same things we ourselves would like to do. But because we don't have the opportunity to do it, we find fault with those who are doing it. And that's hypocrisy. That's why when persons ask me to make comment about certain things, I don't. Because you're free to do whatever you want to do as long as you're not breaking the law.
Yeah.
But you could break the law within the confines of your home and no one has to know about that. And like I said, there are things in our sexual law regarding sex that are illegal that we do every time we go and make love. And that's a fact. Because the things that we do today, it was there before and people were doing it. And for the church to control society, and I use the word church, not meaning the mosque and temple, church, Christianity, to control human behavior, made laws against those things. I am sure somewhere along the line there's a law against having sex in different positions. I'm sure. Because if the missionaries came and said this is the way you should have sex, and this is the only way acceptable to God, they're going to outlaw the other ways.
And for the benefit of our listeners that are listening, the missionary position is a straight.
The woman lies flat on her back, legs closed.
Closed.
Once the leg is open, that is not missionary, and the man inserts his penis in the vagina. That is the missionary position. Not no fancy thing with the leg open and the knee up. No, that's not missionary, you know. That is a change to the missionary position. That is not acceptable. That is not missionary position.
That's very uncomfortable for them.
Well, tell that to the people who are bringing out the laws, because remember they had to give up their wives and children and whatnot to go out there and be missionaries, you know.
Matter of fact, that's a tight fit.
I wouldn't know, like you tried already.
No, I know, I heard about it.
You look like you tried it.
No,
but not to condemn anything, but I'm stating facts. I am stating facts, and I tell people that, you know, my words on this station has always been rooted in the truth, and it's factual. I am not making up anything to suit anything. I'm just telling you what it is like. So the things that you conjure up in your mind, if you find the right person to do that with, all it's going to do is expand your horizon. And the funny thing about it, because sex and spirituality is so closely interwoven, that one expands the other, you know. But if you are taking a spiritual part in life, you have to know to suppress the sexual part.
Okay.
That's one of the reasons that the temples in India have all these carvings of every single sexual thing that you could think about. And I didn't say position. Every single sexual thing you could think about. Man having sex with animal, animal having sex with woman, 5 man and 1 woman, 5 women and 1 man, you name it, and you drinking period, whatever you could think about while having sex, whatever you could think about, it's there. It's depicted in these carvings. And that's a serious thing, eh? I could show you carvings and not drawings, but carvings from these temples that depicts the most, what in our modern times, the kinkiest thing that you could ever think about sexually. Because you talk about thousands of temples like that, with hundreds of feet of carvings all around the temple of sexual act. But you know what those things were? In order to enter that temple to do your worship, you have to overcome all that. You have to overcome all that to reach that spiritual high. That is if you take a spiritual path. If you take that spiritual path, it is there, it is in front of you. You're going through it. You're passing, you're seeing all these things. Oh boy, I didn't try that one, but I want to try that. Shucks. I'm going back and try it. That's what it is. It's stimulating your mind. But if you could walk through that without being stimulated by those things, you have attained that level of spirituality. The Kumbh Mela festival, when the most amount of people on this earth descend upon the Ganges River, and these are men that comes out of caves up in the Himalayas. These are Shivites who are there doing job. They come for the Kumbh Mela. I'm talking about 12 million people. I'm talking about one, you know. 12 million. This is not going to Hajj. This is not anything else, you know. This is 12 million men coming out of these caves and whatnot, you know. They are all sexual beings, but they are able to conquer that sexual. They walk naked. Imagine living in the Himalayas, one of the coldest places on this earth, butt naked. How are they capable of doing that? Totally naked. Have you ever seen the videos of them coming down the mountain?
I've never seen the video, but I've heard about it.
Watch the video. Every one of them, they're totally naked. All they have is a Kamandalok in their hand and the Trishul. That's all. Nothing else. They go to the Ganges, take water from the Ganges and go back up. That's what they do. But they have conquered the physical aspect of life. You see, there's a physical part of our life, you know. And you have to determine what you want to take in life. But if you could balance the physical and the spiritual, then you're a much more elevated individual. You're not a better person, but you're much more elevated individual than the ordinary man. Because you are able to balance both the spiritual and the physical, the sexual part. Because there's a very fine line between both of them. There's a very fine line. You could use Tantra, which is sexual, to attain that spiritual height. And you could use that spirituality to attain that form of sexuality that is going to take you to that nirvana. So these are the things that we have to understand, and this is what I've been trying to get into people's head ever since I started, because It is an ongoing process. It's not a process that starts today and I am an expert tomorrow. And there are people like that, you know. They'll beat their chest and say, I know tantric sex. I know this and I know that. I know all the 55 positions. No, there's not 55 positions. I know the Kama Sutra, the Anangaranga. And you ask them one thing from it. For example, every listener out there who know about the Kama Sutra, can you tell me how many pages are dedicated to positions? The Kama Sutra is not about position.
No, it isn't.
No. It's not. The first thing that they teach you in the Kama Sutra is seeing someone and the chemistry between you and, well, of course, it's based on ancient India. The Kama Sutra is not based on Trinidad and Tobago and America and whatnot. It's based on ancient India. So you see a woman and you like her. She might be a maid. She might be somebody going for water. She might be somebody, a cowherder. And you like her. So what do? You have to send a message to her. How do you send a message? It teaches you how to do that. But the one thing it warns you, don't send a message with a messenger. Because she's going to be in contact with the messenger.
Okay.
The chemistry between your words are going to create a chemistry, but that chemistry is no longer between you and her, it's between she and the messenger. Teaches you that. It teaches you how to make love to a woman, where to put marks on a woman, so that when she looks at her reflection in the mirror, she will see these marks and remember you. Not for our next man to see the hickey and say, hey, like she bowling boy. Because it's a badge. It's a dotish thing that we do. The hickey that you put on a woman is for she to see. And in a quiet moment, a private moment, she reflects upon how that came about there. Not to try next man to say, hey, you have a hickey on the neck here, like a mosquito bite here.
But that's why it's always good to put hickeys in other places.
Well, that's the point. That's the point. They describe where to put the hickeys so that she sees it, not another human being. Because it's private to her. So that is the awakening of the physical, the mental senses.
Anyway, folks, taking our time, it's now 3 minutes after 10 o'clock. You are on the inside of Sexplosion on Power 2.1 FM with your host, Dr. Raj Ramnanan of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center out at St. Augustine. And tell you what we are going to do is take a break and we'll be right back with you. Stay tuned.
You have anything to read, already? When we come back? When I'm on a roll, I just want to stop. So you'll start back with that and then I will go back.
ML Ballpark presents the Ballpark World Cup. Ballpark becomes Russia, the biggest seven-a-side World Cup competition to hit the Caribbean. 4 divisions, under 12, under 21, open and over.
Family, I will take a bit of that, you know, I'll take a tablet.
You are represented.
No, Tama, you don't want to.
I'll take a tablet.
Yeah, well, I would have split up in the cup. Get down.
He said, no.
No, you don't want that.
Yeah.
No, I said I want it consistently.
You listen to the big words.
Just a little. Yeah, just to warm it up. I have some inside there already.
You see, he didn't even drink it out.
Yeah, no, I don't need it.
Hold it between your legs, it'll warm up.
Thank you, you're welcome.
Love has this unique power to bring us
What Kiki says, right?
Shopping.
No, well, I know you just talk shopping, but that last one.
on earth that love.
Kind of stupid.
Forces endeavor to drive us apart.
People, man?
People, M-E.
Yeah, well, I thought that was a people, man. Is it people, mother? Is that what is it supposed to MC?
Queen's Park, Savannah, there is Hammond. And for the first time in redemption, Taurus Riley.
The Cure himself, Jack Cure.
And Mikey's Mikey Spice. Powered by White Oak Rocky Waters.
Monster Energy Drink. Guinness made of more.
T. Gura and Company Limited, NLCP.
Mitsubishi Motors.
Chris Garcia say he look forward to meeting you, but he can't come down here today.
Racetrack Wheels.
Hennessy.
And
You come in the office.
Buchanan Group of Companies.
Redemption, the fifth coming. Trinidad and Tobago, we're ready, standing united and moving forward as one. We're one people, one nation, and all in this together.
We are all in this together.
Let's do this with Cheryl Wilson on Power 102, empowering you.
Magnum Explosion presents Inferno.
Saturday, June 9th at the G Beer Complex, featuring Sexologist.
It's easy signal.
Well, I know enough. I used to finish before it finished.
You really say that I see the green coming off the tongue.
Back by their full band. Showtime, 9 p.m.
Magic General
think
admission
it-
is $275 and VIP $450.
Tickets available at Cinema, Trick City, Price Plaza, Gulf City, and Westmore. The Avenue Pub House, Videotronics, LED tickets, and all LCD outlets.
Smartphone code 684-SHOW. That's 684-7469.
Sponsored by
Magnum Tonic Wine.
Colonel Harry,
Signpost.
Stab,
Johnny Walker.
Look off of your makeup.
Gatorade.
You moving? Cough up. You cough. Well, what's up with this? But they had it up there, you was coughing.
With the best music and personalities to power your day. All day on a Saturday. Sir Charles, Chris, DJ Maggie, Gaylan, and the ultimate DJ Shane.
This is Capri, and you're listening to Power 102.
Power up your Saturdays on Power 102 FM. The power of music. Power up Saturdays from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. all day on a Saturday on Power 102. Empowering you. Mondays on Power 102 FM, The Business Corner. 60 minutes of news, analysis, and discussion about money, entrepreneurship, and work. And for those with ideas for a startup, solid tips and advice about the way forward and building the brand. From companies to currencies, investments to the role of information technology. The Business
My brother.
Corner with communications and business consultant Sandrine Rattan. Mondays at 2 p.m. on Power 102. Empowering
She's a
you.
good girl,
In
or she's
association
black?
with
She-
the Caribbean
she got to
Business
throw it.
Factory.
Okay, good to
Sexplosion
keep.
is on Power 102.
Sorry.
And now on new days
Sorry.
and new times. The country's most informative sex education program.
You want him for wife. That is why he asked that. She's a good girl. You want to know. You find you look like wife material.
Midnight with Dr. Raj Randanan, the guru of sex in the Caribbean.
A lot of times we think that
You don't know if he have some kind of thing planned. You don't know if he, when I nephew looking for a wife or you don't know.
And a good woman like you.
When he gave me the eye, I realizes that he looking for. So I said, I never change it then.
Empowering you.
Yes, so she good to keep.
Well, I can definitely tell you that you are making radio an experience when it comes to sex education, Power 2.1 FM, with your host, Dr. Raj Ramnanan of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center that's in Augustine. And our lines are open for those of you who would love to interact with him via the telephone. Feel free, 222-8255, also at 612-8255. If you do decide that you want to send him a text message or a WhatsApp message, you can do that on his private mobile, 7401961. You can also send in your messages on our website at Power 102 FM. Yep.
I see my nephew has joined us. Anil, how are you?
Yep.
I haven't seen you for a while. Tell your father hello for me. Yes, so when I talk about that aspect of human nature,
Yeah.
that's why I tell you we are hypocrites when it comes to things of a sexual nature. We condemn things sexually, and sometimes the things that we condemn are actually what we would like to experience, or we have never experienced it, so we don't know. And that's another thing. So a person will say, me, I will never do that. I tell persons, especially when they want to become involved in things of a sexual nature,
Yeah.
don't ever say, I am not going to do this, never me, or nah, or that nasty. Don't ever say, because with the right partner, the things that you condemn today,
Yeah.
you will do anything. And she knows that for a fact. Sherry, how are you, my dear? This is somebody who's taking the program in Thailand.
Thailand.
Yes. So, and that's a fact. The things that you condemn because you are stolic, you are not involved in things, you are just there as a bystander looking on So you'll condemn it. You'll condemn anything you see. This young lady is doing that. She's nasty, she's dirty, she's a slut, she's a hoe. You put a name on them. He's a stud, but he's a player. He no good. You put those labels because you know why? In your myopic view, what that person is doing is wrong. But you have never had that experience or never had the opportunity to experience it. Therefore, you don't know if you're going to do it or not. So why sit down and condemn? So those who condemn things of a sexual nature, I always tell them, I say, you condemning something that you know is nothing about. Yeah, I know about that. What you know about it? Read it. You think you could ever read a book with a description of an orgasm and know what it feels like?
Oh, no.
You think you could ever read a book with a description of something sexual that entices your brain and know what it is like to actually do it and what it does to your brain?
No, you can't.
That's why I tell people sexology is not theoretical. It is practical. You must be able to experience it. You must be able to do it. It is not something you go and read in a book and pass an exam and say, I'm a sexologist. No way. You'll get a degree.
Yeah.
But you may not be a good
But
sexologist.
you don't have any experience.
No, you don't have the
prior to
experience
that.
of it. You'll have to have...
You'll have the book knowledge.
Huh?
But that's about it. You'll have the book
Well,
knowledge.
book knowledge is book knowledge. You could get book knowledge with many different things. But it doesn't make sense. You go and pick up the Kama Sutra, read the Kama Sutra, and all you're interested in, I wonder what position it has, where the position in the symbol, I wonder where the position, and you're skipping all its page. The first 100 pages, you're studying the first 100 pages, and it's all leading up to the position. And when you get to the position, why them position so hard, boy? Oh, good, the creeping vine, how the hell? The splitting bamboo? What's wrong with them? But they want to break my back, but the first 5 chapters teaching you about the yoga to do that.
Yeah, but it's a lead up to it.
The first 5 chapters teaching you the yoga to do that. But you skip it because you want the end result. But you're not willing to go through the things that you're supposed to do to reach that point.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I know a lot of people want to be sexologists. But they want to know from A to Z and how I get into Z fast. So I tell them, I say, well, if you want to get to Z very quickly, go and read all the book you could read. But if you don't practice the things in the book, and if you don't have a partner that is going to support you in the practice of it, your ass is grass. It's not going to happen. And that's a fact. It is a fact. I could have never be a successful sexologist and sex therapist without the support of my wife. I could have never been where I am today, and anybody who knows me and know my settings and whatnot will tell you that's a fact. That's true. I am not me by myself. I am me through my wife. And I give her all the credit for that, because if I had, for example, when we were boyfriend and girlfriend, and I was studying sex, she was the only person who knew. And she never said, yeah, no boy, don't do that. I tell you, I used to live by another woman and she used to call me by that woman. She never yet condemned me for that, and that is wrong. Or tell me you shouldn't do that. Never yet. She would call me by Tammy and talk to Tammy and say, Tammy, I want to talk to Raj, because in them days I have cell phone. This is 1981 I'm talking about. The cell phone wasn't even a dream.
No.
Nobody dreamt about that.
No.
So it's with her support and her understanding that this is what I wanted to become. When I told her I was going to open the first sex shop in Trinidad and do things of a sexual, she said, that's what you do best, go ahead. She never said, nah, what people would think. And she get flack for it, eh? She get a lot of flack for it. That's why today there are certain people she don't even say hello to. And one day I asked her, I said, why you don't tell her? She said, you wouldn't know what the things that they told me. But she don't hold nobody in mind, eh? She just don't have nothing to do with you. That's all. She wouldn't even tell me what they said.
So she just writes you off.
She just write you off. And when she write you off, she write you off, eh?
Yeah.
But you could come with what? Yeah, you ain't no way in her book. When she write you off, she write you off. She have nothing to tell you. Just morning, good afternoon, how you. She wouldn't even ask you how you're doing, because she don't care how you're doing. And that's a fact. That's how the woman is. But when it comes to me, she cares everything about me. That's why I could go home tonight and say in the morning I fly out, and she wouldn't ask me how long I'm going for. Or she asked me when to pick you up in the airport. Because she likes to pick me up. She likes to drop me off and pick me up. And there's no reason behind that. She don't pack up the vehicle and watch and see, wonder who you're going to meet.
And you know they have some women like that, eh?
She dropped me off. So now I forget that before in the car, she had to make the block and go back.
And they have some women will run behind the car.
She doing that. My wife will never do that. But I cannot be successful if I did not have a partner.
Well,
so that's why sometimes I tell people, I say, and you can't be single and be a good sexologist either. Because you have to practice what you preach and you have to live it. How could you tell somebody the success of a relationship and you don't have a relationship?
Yeah.
It's like telling somebody he's a farmer and you can't plant up and everything you planted dead.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But it's a fact. If you are successful in something, you must be able to portray whatever you're talking about. And that is what makes you successful. It is not just, I'm not lecturing to students for them to become sexologists, you know. Because my lecturers and them, they were all sexually active, I could tell you that. And they were practicing the things that they were preaching and teaching. And they will encourage you to do the things. They will tell you, here what, take the theory and apply it, you know. It's like you studying chemistry. You know, long time when you're in high school, you're studying chemistry, you go in the lab and you mix two chemicals and you do this and that. And when you're done with that, you go into deeper into chemistry and you're touching nothing after that. It's that, you know. Because now it's theoretical and formulas and you have to do the formulas. The formula in sex is sex. That's what it is. So let me get to the clitoris now. I think it's about time we touch the clitoris. That way. Go jump. I go and touch your clitoris.
Yeah, but there have anybody there to say hello to?
Oh yeah, let the angels do that. I forget that clean. Well, don't take so long. We don't like dead air. That's dead air is not allowed. So you should have it set like a mapepi.
We have Michael Simmons.
Ow, love Nigel. Who's ow, love Nigel?
Where ow from?
Yes, Lester Bruce. Sheena Mohammed. Sheena Mohammed says, good night, friends. Hope all is well. Be safe and take care. Loving the program.
Thank you.
Ramesh Maharaj. Locked on. We have Anisha. Good night, Dr. Raj. How are you? Anand Nanan. Jenny Lachman says, good night, Dr. Raj. Locked on to the #1 night program.
A regular listener.
Wahida Bagwa.
Oh, my beautiful cousin.
Yes, and Lovey Smith.
All right. So now, look how unfair the good Lord has been to men. He gave us eyes to see, the 5 senses to go with our brain, 2 nipples that could be stimulated or could be irritating at times, a penis that has to get erect to enjoy it fully. That is what he gave us. And a mind to think about sex. He gave a woman a bag of things. A beautiful mind, pretty face, shaped like that.
Yeah.
Breasts, nipples, on top of that, on top of the breasts, buttocks, sensitive skin, caring nature, compassion, a vagina, and to top it off, the cherry on top of that, a clitoris. Something that is only designed for sex. There is no other function of the clitoris.
The icing on the cake.
Absolutely no other function of the clitoris except for sexual pleasure. A woman has a part of her body designed for sex. And I'm not talking about the vagina. I'm talking about the clitoris. So let's start with the clitoris. You have 3 types of clitoris. And that's when it comes to looking at the clitoris. You have underneath the ring clitoris, which is the clitoris you cannot see, but you could feel if you press against it. You have inside the ring, what's that? Yeah, there are women that you can't see the clitoris. There's inside the ring clitoris, which is the one that is right inside the ring. When you press it and you play with it, it starts to extend out. And then you have outside of the ring clitoris, which is the one that actually gets like a little penis. Now that one comes in all different sizes. It could be as big as a thumb. Not that one. Why you just do junior all them thing?
Because
Next time you want to whine on it. You ever thought about that?
he might like it.
He might like it.
Like a real market girl. Real market girl. You might like it.
You from Chicago?
Close.
I love Shogunas Market now. My boy take me there once. A nice woman, man. So you see, I upgrading you there.
So you have 3 types of clitoris. Then you have the clitoral hood covering that. You have the sensitivity of the clitoris. And with that clitoris, you have 52 shapes of vaginas. So 52 by 3. Think about how much different type of vaginas it have out there. 156.
156.
156 different vaginas. You see God wicked?
Yeah, but you see, that's one of the reasons why men incline to stray.
Well, yeah, you want to see all the different types of vagina.
Because of the variety.
Yes, and I don't blame them. Because you can't take Dr. Raj's word for it that there are 156 different types of vagina.
So you know much men...
Huh? You don't need to see all? No. Of course you do. Think about you go into your grave having not seen this 156 type of vaginas.
As a matter of fact, if you put yourself in a position where you see the 156...
No, that's 52. One time by one type of clitoris, another 52 by another type of clitoris, another 52 by another type of clitoris. You must see it. You must taste it. You must smell it. You must touch it. You must know how it's going to react.
So when you passed on to the other one,
when you pass on to the other world, you have accomplished.
You could...
No, I know all the wives out there want to kill me right now. Eh?
You could watch any coffee.
As you can see, 3 of them want to kill me too.
Yeah.
You agree? You don't agree? No. You agree?
No. But the fun part...
You agree?
Partially.
Partially. So much is you see? 50, only 52? Huh? About 20?
A few is enough.
A few is enough. How much is a few?
A few, not a big.
You agree? Right. 3 women don't agree. You agree?
I agree with that. I agree.
And you think it's 156? All the guys out there.
Of course.
Let's take a vote on this. Guys, how much of you agree that you should see all?
Didn't I say 156 times?
156 times. We're like, he that mash up all here. All is only 3.
Yeah. And he's 150.
But on a serious note, so that is the type of clitoris attached to the vagina. The penis head has 12,000 nerve endings. Now you see the size of a penis head. It could be from that. It could be thick so. It could be so thick that it can't go in your mouth. It could be like a Coke can. And that has only 12,000 nerve endings. You know what nerve ending the clitoris has? Ladies, all your vagina and all your clitoris. How much? Make a guess.
No, don't look at it.
No, take it out and look at it. Tell me, count the nerve endings.
That's like counting the stars in the sky.
On that small little thing called a clitoris, you have 24,000 nerve endings.
24,000.
Double the amount of a man. When the fetus is forming in the womb of the mother, what becomes the penis? What is supposed to be the penis in the male becomes the clitoris in the female. You know? It's just that it gains more nerve ending.
Okay.
So that's why the clitoris is so sensitive to touch, to licking, to sucking, and you got to know what to do with it. You have to. There are some women who have a clitoris and they themselves don't know what to do with it. They don't even know how to stroke it because they don't practice masturbation. Okay. They don't practice self-love. And that is part of self-love. Knowing your body, knowing what stimulates your body, knowing what it takes for you to feel good before you want your man make you feel good. What does it take for you to feel good sexually? Then you could direct your man when you're making love. Honey, I would like this done. Or, well, of course, you're not saying it like that, like if it's at school.
No, in a romantic way.
In a romantic way and a manipulative way so that he actually does what you want done. And we're only dealing with the clitoris here. Now, the clitoris could give you a sense of satisfaction if stimulated enough and you reach a point where you're stimulated enough, you feel good, and it becomes very sensitive. Don't touch me there again. Move your hand. Move your mouth. Don't touch me. Too sensitive. That's one. A clitoris, tickle, yeah, it becomes ticklish here. Yeah. The clitoris could now become a tool by which it gives you an orgasm. Now, you have women who have one orgasm and that's it. Don't touch me there again. Move your hand, it's tickling. It's sensitive, it's hurting. As some of them describe it as hurting. That's another way. There are women who are multiple orgasmic, meaning they're having orgasm after orgasm after orgasm with the stimulation of the clitoris. You see how God unfair?
Yeah,
Right. So you're having all these stimulation and all these feeling. There are women who are gushers. So the more you play with the clitoris, the more the vagina gushes. Not squirting, gushing. There are women who are squirters. The more you play with the clitoris and you hit that spot just behind the clitoris, she starts to squirt. She like a little water gun. Or some of them like a big water gun. She could spray it on.
Yeah, boy.
Right? So, that one little thing that is called the man on the boat, or the pimp, or the clit, can bring so much satisfaction to a woman. So don't you think us as men should learn how to manipulate that thing called the clit before anything else?
Definitely.
We should always learn how to manipulate the clitoris so that you are able to be an expert in things of a sexual nature. Always learn how to do that, first and foremost. The 3 different type of clitoris, how to find it, how to work it, and how to bring that woman to the point of enjoying sex to the fullest. You could go ahead and take a break now.
No. I was just... No, I see this particular angel real advanced. You know, anything she says...
Well, once it had to do with the clit.
Yeah, anything you say, yeah.
She like flit. She like the clit.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, folks, taking return. It's now 29 minutes after 10 o'clock. Inside Sexplosion on Power 2.1 FM. And just to remind you once again that this program may contain material that is not suitable for children. Parental guidance therefore advised. You are on the inside of Sexplosion, Trinidad and Tobago. Longest nighttime running program with your host, Dr. Raj Ramnanan of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center out at St. Augustine. Yeah.
Cherrybud, I beg to differ, because I have known women from all over the world, and I'll tell you something, Trini women are not shy. They are not. They have not found their real partner. When they find their real partner, they're not shy at all. And the difficulty is finding that right partner.
The one that suits you. Yeah.
Because some of them don't seek out that right partner because they don't know about that. And yes, there's something called gushing. Gushing is when a woman secretes a lot of fluid from her body, as opposed to squirting. Squirting is when you shoot out that liquid out of the urethra. Gushing comes out from the vagina. There is a big difference. Big difference. You never see sometimes in porn, when a man having sex with a woman, there's a white froth that comes on the penis.
Yeah.
That is from gushing. That is not squirting. Don't get tired up with that. Squirting, as a matter of fact, squirting comes out with a certain amount of pressure that it's going to spray down the place. You see, as a sexologist, and I'm not boasting, I'm just telling a fact here. Before the age of 20, the experiences I had all over the world with women, sexually and otherwise, is what persons will go through an entire life and not experience it. And I can tell you from interacting with persons from all over the world, the quality of a Trinidad woman. That's why I always tell you, we have the best of the best here. And I'm not saying that to much up Trinidad women, I'm stating a fact. I am stating a fact. The quality that you get here, once you find that right woman, and once you find that woman that is going to, there's an interaction between you and that person, and there's an understanding, and there's a willingness to learn, or a willingness to experiment, or a willingness to do things, you'll be amazed what that woman could do. Now, of course, in some culture, they teach you to be sexual. For example, the American Indian culture.
Yeah.
I think the second girlfriend I had in the US was an American Indian girlfriend. And the things that I learned from her was mind-blowing. Totally mind-blowing. Because their culture, when it comes to sex, is much more open than any other culture in the United States. And I could not believe it. But then again, it was fuel to my fire. Because it is what I like.
And is that Trini?
Well, it had not to be with being a Trini. It had to do with being a sexologist, wanting to be a sexologist. And here I am experiencing an American Indian girlfriend for the very first time. And the things that goes with it. And it is mind-blowing. And as I went, and again, although I was doing all, I still had my girlfriend in Trinidad, who was later to become my wife. And she knew about all that. Because it wasn't I falling in love with anybody. I'm a girlfriend, I'm a friend.
Yeah.
Because when she came to visit me in Florida, every one of my girlfriends wanted to take her out. She didn't have time for me or herself. Every one of them, I want to spend time with this woman who have Raj like this.
Well,
It wasn't Raj, it was Raj.
Yeah, but then again, in those days, as you rightfully said, you were studying to be a sexologist.
No, I wasn't studying to be a sexologist. That was
You
my
wasn't
first degree.
studying to
No,
be a
no, that was
sexologist?
but my wife knew that is what I always wanted to do.
Because I thought maybe that was...
No,
I thought maybe that was training.
No. My first degree is in accounting, brother. My first degree is in accounting. Yes. I went to study accounting.
So what made you switch?
I never switch. I never switch.
No, when I say switch, I mean from accounting to a
Because I
sexologist.
always wanted to be a sexologist, but in 1979, you couldn't go and tell your parents you wanted to study to be a sexologist. Which madman go do that? I was dotish, but I wasn't that mad to go and tell my parents I go and study sex. So I studied sex on the down low. I got my accounting degree in 2 years and 9 months. A 4-year degree, which was nothing for me. But I continued to study sex. And in studying sex, I had all these encounters with people girlfriend from 2 or 3 countries from Africa. Belgium, Sweden, Germany, England. Well, Germany was the best. Just don't do like she did it. And when you do, it was choking up the experiences, but also, I joined a swingers club when I was 17 years old. 17 years of age, because in those days nobody would card you. And now people find that impossible to believe, because now anywhere you go, somebody will ask you where your ID card.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Long ago that was never asked. Nobody will ever ask you where your ID card. Excuse me. As a matter of fact, I remember in 1983 is when they brought out the law that you had to be 18 years and over to drink.
Yeah.
Before that, you could have drink.
Yeah, you could have anybody. Yeah.
Anybody could have buy alcohol and drink. And that was in the US. 83.
83.
Yeah. My mind is very good with these things. I remember these things. I remember where I was when I heard the law. I was walking down the road and I went into a place and I heard it on the radio. That's how I remember exactly where I was when I heard it. But a woman has these capabilities. Now, if you have been through all of what I'm telling you about, that 156 was nothing, That 156 was licked up in a year, Easy, Because, of course, there may be 2 women with the same type of clitoris and same type of vagina and whatnot. But that was easily done in a year. Easy, because when you talk about spring break alone, where 50,000 girls used to come down to Florida, Fort Lauderdale for sex, That's all, 3 things they used to come for. Sex, and drugs.
Oh, yes.
That's all. Nothing else. You could go on the beach and say, you, come, let's go. And as a fact,
but as a matter
of fact, there's a movie called Where the Boys Are.
Yeah.
Watch the first version and the second version. The second version have all my friends in it. The only reason I wasn't in it is because I was brown skinned. Everybody was white in it. So we was doing extra work. The director of that movie was a good friend of ours. The girl was doing recruiting in our school. What's her name? The other day I was trying to remember her name. For some reason it just slipped me. Yeah. So she hired all my friends. Where the boys are.
Yeah.
And that it depicts what girls used to come down to Fort Lauderdale for. We used to go and pick them up by the carload. 3 and 4 cars, each one have one driver, and you're full in that car with as much women as possible, and you're heading back to your hotel. Or heading back to your room, not the hotel. I just came from a hotel.